Saturday, November 15th, 2025, and this is Rick with Hit and Run Candlesticks. If anyone's out there, please join us. I just thought I would come on live today, talk a little bit about the market. I'll try to put some charts together for later. I've got some charts we can look at, and we can certainly do that. I have plenty there. Wow, what a crazy market. What a crazy market this was. I do want to remind everybody, I can't stress this enough, that cash is a position. If the market gets out of hand for you or anybody, then that's a good time to, sorry, I'm just kind of checking things here. That's a good time to maybe just go to cash, let the market settle down. Now, I know we all want to catch that next run, but I'll show you in the charts, with the market and with each individual chart as well, that you don't have to be in early to catch those runs. Okay. So anyway, let's take a look at the market here. So what I've got up on my chart, let's go through the moving averages real quick. The white line, that's the 8 EMA. The green dots and red dots, that's our trend indicator, or my main trading trend is what that is. But we call it the trend indicator. And then I've got the blue line, and that's the 50-period moving average here. So, as I look at the SPY here, let me get this. There we go. Get my drawing tools going here. There we go. As you know, we clearly have this downtrend right here, okay? And here we've rallied up and we pulled back. Ouch. We put in a bottom, a nice big fat hammer in there. We've gapped up and pulled back. All right. On the plus side, we closed higher. So we've got a low, high, higher, low. By all standards of stock trading, we need to break out of this high right here. Let me move this over a little bit. There we go. So if we get to a point where we can break out, so I'm just going to draw just straight up. Market's not going to do that, but for a minute here, let's just save time. Let's do that. That's what we're looking for. So we need to go from this low, this high. We have a higher low, and then break out. That could set us free to move up and retest some numbers up there near that 700. That's what I've been saying we're going to get to. We'll see. Certainly wasn't planning on this kind of a pullback and then this kind of a failure up here down. We'll see if it can make it. Now, of course, I'm not going to wait till we break out to buy anything if we start moving. But what I will do is I'll have my brakes on the gas, or on the brake, my foot on the brakes a little bit until we move up over our trend. And that trend, well, I can put it up here. Price will have to be up in this area here. And that'll turn that red dot that we have yesterday and the day before, Friday and Thursday, that will turn those dots green. And then we'll have, something like this over here where price is back in good shape, where price and the 8 EMA is above our trend here. And you can see right now where the white line is starting to cave in on cave in right here on the trend, our trend indicator right here. And we don't want that. We don't want that white line below that dot. We really, really don't. That could be a lot of a problem. Okay. So we're in a very, very rough area right now. And on top of that, we've got NVIDIA, try that again. We've got NVIDIA earnings come. I still did it wrong. NVIDIA earnings coming out on Wednesday. And that could be a make or break chart for the market here. So come Wednesday, be very, very cautious on how on what you might be in, or maybe create some balance because we could have a big problem there on Nvidia. All right, let's get back to the market really quick here, and let's take a look at the Qs. Okay, if we look at the Qs have come down, and we'll draw a trend line here. And if we want to, we can draw a trend line just using that 50 period moving average up, just like that. And that's what I tend to use, moving averages. I'm a big moving average user. And um, so with that, there's my trend line. So you can see how we're kind of trapped in this pennant formation of our triangle. So we need to break out to be bullish, break down to be bearish, but we could, a lot of chop right in here. So the market could go stagnant for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, waiting for Nvidia. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens too. A little bit of real soft and quiet, and just not doing much, just waiting on the edge of the seat for um, something to come out on Nvidia here. So we'll be careful of the Qs. Take a look at the diamonds. The diamonds didn't quite make it down to the 50 period moving average. So I would suspect that the diamonds may yet have a little bit more downside to give a good test of that 50 period moving average. Now, if we get a bounce off the 50 or very near the 50, then what we have is we could have that low high. We could end up with a higher low, and the bulls could break it back up to the upside. Of course, bottom line, hands down, if we lose the 50 period moving average to the bears control this market. We could be in for a downside, or be in for some serious downside. And again, Nvidia is going to play a big part on that. Okay. Let's take a look at the VIX, VIX here. There we go. The VIX has popped up, and these lines I had drawn on there last week, so it's not like I just drew them. But it is absolutely amazing to me, just by taking this top and these bottoms down here, on how everything kind of works out. This is our 50% mark right here. And you can see you can, here, let me do this. Take this one and we'll make it, there we go. If you just look through here, right there. All right. Now you can see we popped up and pulled back. We opened up just around it. We popped up a little bit above it, and we ended up down. Now we did go higher, and look at that. We landed right on the 75 line moving up. Several days ago, we came very, very close to it. And just look right here how the 50% line acted through there. So now, right now, the VIX is bullish by my standards. Price is above the 8 EMA. The 8 EMA is above our trend indicator, and we're above the 50 period moving averages. So just using that right there, which that's all I'm going to use, the VIX here is bullish. We really need the bullish, or the VIX, to really drop off, or something positive in the market. I did see where what Trump has made some products, lowered the tariffs on some products. That might help the market a little bit. Also, it's crazy market out there. All right. Hey, before we go any further, I need to do something here. I should have done it earlier. I apologize. Bear with me. Let's talk about Black Friday. Okay. So if you're still listening in on here, check it out. Our Black Friday, 6 months free with Hit and Run Candlesticks. This is good for even members if you choose to do it. Basically, what's happening is you are paying for 1 month, or I'm sorry, 1 year, and you get 6 months free. So 18 months for $965.85. For those of you that dig the whole QR code, to be honest, I just kind of discovered that just a short period of time ago on how cool it is. So you just have to take your phone, go to your photos and your camera, and just put that little thing up there, and then hit that button on that QR code, and it pops right up on your phone. Pretty darn cool, actually. If you'd like, I'll put a link also in the YouTube comments area. I will put a link down there for this. This is starting our Black Friday sale. So if you're interested, jump on that. It will be ending. It won't be going forever. So again, that's Hit and Run Candlesticks, 18 months. It boils down to about $53 a month. So anyway, if you choose to do that, thank you very much. Love to see you in the trading room. And a reminder, it is good for members if you want to take advantage of it. Okay. All right. Let's get back to business here. Thank you for putting up with that. Okay. So I think we covered everything right there. Let's take a look at T2123. You can see that on the hourly, there we go. On the hourly, we are down below, price below the 8 EMA, the 8 EMA below the trend indicator. That is telling us to be bearish. Well, it's telling us be very, very cautious with the bulls. Because we did get a big bullish pop here in the SPY on the candle. So this right now is telling us to be a little bit cautious. If we start losing our any bullishness in here, this will just start dripping to the downside. Something I've been doing lately, working with an individual that asked me to help him with this, and I'm finding it quite useful. And for you TC2000 users out there, you have this. There we go. T2108. I'm not going to get into it too much because I'm not using it in the way, how many stocks are over their 40-day moving average. I'm not using it in that way at all. But you can see that that's even moving down. Now in the room Monday, I'll certainly talk about it. Just don't have too much time on this video to do that, okay? So right now, this is telling us to pump the brakes, be careful. We don't have, even though we have that bullish candle up here, we don't have the momentum going forward, and that's what this is telling us. And this is also what this is telling us. Anyway, we'll, like I say, Monday I can get into this a little bit more when I have more time. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at some charts that I am looking at if we get long. Now, I'll have some shorts set up. I'll post some shorts in our Discord account, and you probably on Facebook as well. Yeah, Facebook as well. And X, of course, I'll do it there as well. If what am I trying to say? For some shorts on there. Hey, Tommy, how you doing? Lear, how you doing? Great. Glad to have you guys here. Thanks. Tommy from San Jose, Lee from Wisconsin. Hey, Lee, how you guys doing? Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. I've got some charts we can look at. If you guys have some charts, I'd be glad to do that as well. Okay. So here's some charts that I am looking at for next week, or maybe even out further. Okay. But let's take a look at PAL. And what I'm going to focus on, and I do have some rounded bottom breakouts we can talk about because those are pretty nice. Make sure I get those. What I'm going to focus on are stocks that are holding over that 50 period moving average. Now, there's a whole bunch of stocks that's under the 50 that has put in some really nice double bottoms or a low high, like this right here. Let me point this out. There we go. We've got a low high. There's a lot of stocks that's put in a higher low or that double bottom. In fact, I'm even working on a scan for this that have come up with some pretty nice charts. That's where this one came from. So anyway, I'm looking for this right here. Now I've got targets up here. 135.30, 141 and a quarter, 146.15. But these targets mean absolutely zip. They don't mean a doggone thing if we can't get going, okay? So I want to wait for a buy signal. Now, I do like, trading when here, let's come over here. You see how price has moved back above the white line and the green dots? I really like that. That is like to me a great reason to go long. I'm not big on bottom picking, like, okay, let's buy, pal down here. I'm not real big on that. A lot of people do it, and that's cool. Everybody's got to have their way to trade. This is just my way, is, wait for something. And I'm going to do the same thing over and over and over. I will also go intraday. Let me show you. Let's take this chart and go to a 3-bar chart. This is a chart I really like. And do we see the buy signal here? No. Price is still below the T line or the 8 EMA, and the 8 is still below our trend indicator. Let's go to an hourly chart. Is that a buy? No. Price, 8, trend indicator. Wrong place. Let's come over here to 15-minute. It's looking better. I got to tell you, it's looking better, but we're just not up there yet, are we? We're just not up there. Now let's go to a 10-minute. We're still not there. Here, I'm going to even try a 5-minute here. I've not pre-checked these. I don't know. Well, you see how we got started right here? That's getting close. So here we are going, but what we never did was close over those highs. That was the okay. Let's start looking. Price, 8 EMA trend indicator. Let it set up, and then when we break out of those highs, let me just put a line right in there. So when we break out of those highs right here, that's what we want to look for. And we never did break out. Now, I know somebody watching this, you might say, well, there's a breakout. No, I'm going to argue with you about that. That is not a breakout. That is a perfect signal or a perfect sign for a false breakout. Okay, green, there we go. What we would need to see is a close up there. That's I get asked that a lot, when we're talking about breakouts. How do you tell the difference between a false breakout and a real breakout? One of the ways is right there. I know a lot of folks, it's just early. They see it, the start to break out. They all jump in. Well, hold on here. Let that candle close. Now you have yourself a breakout. And if we would have done that, then we would have closed above that line, and that would have been a sign to maybe get into PAL. Okay. So while I'm watching PAL, it still needs to set up. It needs to do the right thing. Let's take a look at Google for folks that like Google, trading Google. That might be setting up. I'm waiting for it. It's just one I'm watching. It's not that it's nothing spectacular at the moment, but I am watching it here. We are trapped between the trend indicator and the 50-period moving average. The 8 EMA is still above the green dots or the trend indicator. So to me, that's pretty good. That's an ugly top. So the bulls really need to work themselves back up. And if they do, then I will look at that as something that's quite bullish, and then we can get into it. Now, this may come down even more. And to tell you the truth, I would love that. Okay. Like I said, the stocks that I'm looking at, I put them on a watch list, and they're still good for 2, 3, 4 weeks out. So just because it's on the watch list today and maybe it fails doesn't mean it should be kicked off the watch list. It just hasn't set up right. We still have a very nice trending 50-period moving average. So it may need to come right back down, and then that's even a better buy for a champion stock or company like Google there. Okay. Take a look at OIH. Look at OIH. That is setting up quite nice. In fact, there's a couple oil companies, and I think, yeah, I've got them written down. We'll take a look at them. See how price is above the 8 and the 8 is above the trend indicator? I think that is superb right there. We're above our 50% retracement line. The 50-period moving average is still rallying up. Right now, the target on this would be moving back up into the 298, we'll call it 60 area, and then from there, I would probably look at somewhere around the 320, 315, 320 mark up here. Uh, you know, and you know, just so everybody knows, there's no way it's going to go straight up. So, you know, it's going to do things like that. Just what charts do. Okay. Let's see. I know I had a SA. Is that? Let's see here. No, that's a gold one. SLB. That's what I was thinking of. SLB. SLB is set up almost looks like that OIH. But there's another one here, and then we'll look at another one, Halliburton. So Halliburton here. I'm sorry, Schlumberger, back up to that 37.90, and then we'll look for something up around 39 up here, 39.50 on that. But you can see how important it's going to be to break out of this area right here, right there. Wow, all the way over here. And see, once we break out of there, then that opens up this whole field over here on the left. That opens up. Let's do this. See if I can. There we go. That will open up all the way up here into that. What is that? $40 to $43 range. That's about an 18%, 20% move up from where we are right in here. So that may be a nice little spot right there. And then I mentioned Halliburton. We'll put that one up real quick. Halliburton, and they all look, you know, all three of those look exactly the same, but Halliburton may be there. All right, let's take a look at, let's see, what do I have written down here? Morgan Stanley. There we go. Morgan Stanley. Again, I'm, you know, focusing off that 50 period moving average. And here's Morgan Stanley, not only with a hammer right here, but we have a low, high, higher low on that 50 period moving average. So I'm looking at Morgan Stanley for a possible buy on bullishness. And then again, because of my trend, then I'm going to use that area as my stop area. So anything back below it, I don't want it. You know, bottom line is I'm looking for charts that go like right here. Okay. This one here, you see how we hit the 50 where price is below our trend indicator and the 8 EMA. Price has come above. That's what I'm looking for. We're up and down. See, maybe profits were taken here. Maybe it just turned out to be a flush trade because it just came right away, right down. So here we did it again. And now see how we had some follow through right there. But that's what I'm looking for. Even if you held it on that gap, look how it cleaned itself up. Now there's where some money is right there. There's some big money. So that's what I'm looking for, is to get back up above that simple trend, just using the trend indicator, just a simple, and it's just a moving average. You guys all know that. Let's see. Bank of America. I'm looking at Bank of America. I think it has, it had some, you know, one of those big firms put a higher price on it. So Bank of America could get up there. If we were to take price off and just follow that trend, 8 dots, 8 dots, 8 dots. Now see, we're down and we turned red, right? Well, if price comes back up, boom, like that, now we're back into the green dots, price, 8 EMA dots, right? In a perfect world, this is what we would want, right? So you'd have price, 8 EMA dots, price, 8 EMA dots. Now we know it's not going to work all like that, don't we? So maybe we move down a little bit, but as long as we still have price, 8 EMA dots, we're still good. And then we'll look for that to follow through, of course. So Bank of America is one I'm following. Here, NU. Whoops, do that again. NU. That's looking pretty good. Look at that. I mean, I think that is a really nice chart. So we've got a trending 50 period moving average. And let me get my arrow here. There we go. We got our low, right, to our high. And I know this made a lower low, but let's give this Friday's candle just a little bit of credit, okay? And let's just call that close enough to a double bottom, okay? I mean, I get it, it's lower. I know that. But let's give this candle some credit. Let's see what that next candle is going to be. It doesn't cost us a dime to put this on our watch list. It doesn't cost a penny to put it on our watch list. And then what we'll look for is that breakout. And if we get that breakout, well, that just might be the time to buy. Let's stretch this out a little bit further. What if we just simply waited until it broke out here? What harm would that do? That wouldn't do any harm. So let's just see what might pan out from this if we waited for this breakout. And that would be a breakout of this double top, right? So let's do this. Let's take this low. Let's come up to these highs and then take this tail here and come up to this low because that's the lowest low, right? Okay, so I'm going to go here. And of course, this high is always a target. That's always a good target. And then this would be the next target, and that would be the 75%. This right here is the 61.8 retracement back up, and this right here is the 50%. And then we'll put one more target up there, just like that. And that's how I would do targets. So you can see that if you didn't buy it in here, you could actually wait, get that breakout, which more than likely, unless the market got some big push to the upside, more than likely what would happen is it would pull back and give you a better entry, and then we could attack those areas up there. So anyway, that's an idea right there. I don't even know what time I started. I hope I'm not like crashing the timeline. Just real quick, we'll take a look at whoops, don't do that. I don't know what I did there. BAT, look at BAT, BATT. This one might be setting up low, high, higher low, trending 50 period moving average, right? So let's do this. Let's draw this line just straight across. And then let's just take that 50 period moving average. And I'm just going to come back to here and draw it up, right? Even if we traveled, again, what does it cost to put the stock on your watch list and look at it during the day sometimes, just a couple times? What would it cost to do that? Zero, nothing. So let's let this chart set up. Maybe somebody buys it in here. I can see me buy it in here. I can see me buying it on that breakout, right? Doesn't cost a nickel to put that on our watch list, okay? Let's look at these rounded bottom breakouts because I love rounded bottom breakouts, and then we will call it a time here, I guess. Take a look at CNC. By the way, this is one that I am in right here. Let's draw this trend line on this right there. Take it down like that. Just run across those highs. I can actually see where we might do this, Yeah. You know what? I could see this. I'm going to go with that right there. We're taking those highs right down to this high and then let it go where it will. So here we are trying really hard to break out. Let's take that 50 period moving average and we'll move up like that, just like that. All right. And here I want to do some. This is a new chart for me. See if I can remember how to do this. Maybe it's not there. Maybe it's right here. Maybe I better give up till I figure out how to do it. Anyway, there's a dot you can put down here. And what I do is I go from that dot up, and that dot is 50 days back, and then go up here. But this works as well too. So you can see us traveling sideways. If you follow this chart kind of closely, you can see that this move down and then this move up, right? We've just stayed in this consolidation area, a little bit of a breakout here. We've just stayed in that consolidation. Look how tight it's getting. I will make you a promise. I will make you an absolute 100% promise. The stock cannot go too much further to the right. Here's what I cannot promise. I cannot promise that it's actually going to break out to the upside, and I can't promise it's going to break out to the downside. What I can promise is it cannot keep going sideways. It cannot get that tight. It's already so tight. I mean, it can go another few days, that's for sure. But at some point, it just will explode. And all right, maybe I used the word explode. Maybe that's the wrong word. It'll move. It'll move. Okay. So it'll get to a point where it just can't, the pressure will be too much and it will either move to the upside or it will move to the downside. Okay. So let's leave it right there. I want to thank everybody watching this video. And I do want to remind you, eh, for anyone that is watching this video, that Black Friday sale. Let me do that real quick one more time. The Black Friday sale. This is for members as well. If you want to take advantage of it, it's 18 months, 6 months free. Basically, what you're doing is you're buying 1 year. We're throwing in 6 months, and you're getting 18 months total, so 6 months free. That IQR, is that what it's called? QR thing up there. If anyone knows how to use that, just simply put your phone up there, put your camera on there, and then you'll see a button. You click that, and it'll take you right to the page if you want to take advantage of this right now. Otherwise, I will put a link below in the chat of the YouTube channel and on social media as well. You can pick that link up there. Okay. So again, thank you everybody for watching this video. I absolutely appreciate it. And I'll try to get another video out tomorrow, but for sure, I'm going fishing tomorrow, but for sure, we'll see everybody Monday at 8:30 for the live. Okay. Take care. We'll see you later. Thanks a lot, you guys, for being here. I appreciate it.